Hi everyone. I just thought of starting something new today. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come up with a few vocabularies in all my vocabulary sessions and I'm going to tell you the meaning of it. I'll use those words in sentences as well to help you understand the word, its context and how to use it in a sentence. Okay, so this is a vocabulary exercise and you'll get to know how you can pronounce it also. So it is basically a vocabulary and pronunciation practice session as well. So I'm going to come up with such sessions, vocabulary and pronunciation sessions. I'm going to pronounce those words. I'm going to give its meaning. I'm going to use it in different sentences so that you get the context and you understand the meaning well and you'll be able to use it in your own sentences. That is the idea of this session. On that note, welcome back to my channel. I am your communications coach and a soft skill trainer by profession, and I'm here to help you out with all your communications problems and to help you speak English fluently and confidently. So let's get started. I'm going to start with very basic words and then I'm going to get into intermediate and advanced in my later sessions. Okay, so the first word is consider. I hope this is a very common word which is used in everyday English speaking or English conversations, right? And I'm sure a lot of you must be familiar with this word. So what does consider means? Consider means to think carefully about something. So there are lots of meanings of consider. It is used in different contexts. I'm going to explain every meaning which I have found in the dictionary and I'm going to make sentences out of it. Think carefully about something, typically when you're making a decision. Okay, so you have to think, of course, when you have to make a decision, you have to think carefully before making a decision, right? So this is what consider means. For example, the college is going to consider my application. Okay, the college is going to consider my application on merit basis. Okay, which means the college is going to think about the application, right, on merit basis. So this is what it means. Second meaning of the word consider is think about, which means about a course of action. You're going to take an action and you're going to thinking about it. So think about probably your action plan. Okay, for example, I am considering to resign from my job, or I have considered to resign from my job. This is what consider means here. That I am going to resign, I'm going to give up, I'm going to discontinue from my job. Okay, which is I'm thinking about taking an action. So what I'm doing here is I'm resigning from my job. I'm taking action to discontinue my job. So that is why I'm considering it here, to resign from my job. So that is what consider means in this sense. So these are the two examples I gave you about different context. You can use this word in more contexts as well, depending on how you're using the word or when you're using this word, right? So it typically means to think about carefully, or to consider something, or to plan something, to believe something. Okay, so these are the sentences which you can use in this regard. Another example is I'm considering to take English seriously, right? So you're considering to take English seriously means English as a language you're considering to take it seriously. So that is another example. So guys, now what you can do is you can just try to make as many sentences as you can using this word consider. This is your task. The next word is evident. This is also a very common word which is used in our day-to-day conversation. The common meaning of evident is clear. It's evident. It's very clear, right? So evident. So it also means clearly seen, or it's very clearly understood, or it's quite obvious. Then only we use evident. Okay. It was evident from her performance that she is a great dancer, right? So it was evident from her performance that she is a great dancer. So when you saw her performance, which means the sentence means when you saw the performance, you were very sure that she is a great dancer by just looking at her performance. right? So this is how you can use it. Looking at the weather, it's quite evident that it's going to rain heavily today. So what you're saying, looking at the weather, it's quite evident that it's going to rain heavily today. So when you are looking outside at the weather, when you see the clouds or black clouds, and you know that it's going to rain. So it's quite evident that you can clearly see, or you can clearly judge, or you can understand that it's going to rain heavily today. So these are the two sentences which I've used in which I've used the word evident. There are lot many sentences you can make from this word. Third one is concern. This is also a very common word which is used nowadays, or in every conversation basically. And I'm sure many of you knows about it. Concern means worried, right? This is one meaning of the word. A common meaning of the word is worried. Okay, I'm concerned about my family's health, right? Everybody is concerned about something or the other, right? So that's what I said. I'm concerned about my family's health, right? I'm worried about my family's health. Okay. Another meaning of this word is a matter of interest or importance. Waterlogging and potholes are a big concern during rainy season. So matter of interest or importance. So the example is waterlogging and potholes are major concerns during rainy season. So guys, this is how you can make sentences out of a word. Try using this word in a lot of other sentences also, and you will get to know how you can use it. Okay, this will be a practice session for you as well. Another word is commit. Now, this is also a very common word which is used, right? It means pledge or bind to, or to dedicate something, right? Or to carry out a mistake or do something wrong. Okay, for example, the first example I'll give you is he committed a crime which cannot be forgiven, right? Somebody commits a crime, so we can say he committed a crime which cannot be forgiven, right? This is one. Second one is, or somebody commits a suicide. Okay, he committed a suicide. So he did something wrong. So he did something wrong. Another example is, I want to commit myself to English speaking. Right, commit myself here to dedicate. So I'm dedicating myself to English speaking. Another example is, I have committed my friend to meet her this Sunday. I have committed my friend to meet her this Sunday. Okay, so I have promised her that I'll meet her on Sunday. So this is also another way you can use this word commit. The last word which today I'm going to talk about is approach. This is also a very common word. It's very easy to pronounce as well, and we use it a lot, right? It has different meanings as well. So what it means is come near, right? Come near to someone or something, which is, you can talk about distance or time as well using this word approach. Another meaning of this is when you speak to a certain person, when you want to go and speak to somebody, and when you start speaking, or you want to speak to a person for the first time for a proposal or a meeting or anything of such sort, so you approach that person. So that is another meaning of approach. One more very common meaning of approach is to deal with a situation or a problem in a certain way. This is also called approach. You can use the word approach in this sense also. Now guys, I know you're going to get confused, so I'm going to give examples in each category. So the first case we'll take up is to go near. Okay, for example, the first one is the winter is approaching. Okay, or the winter season is approaching. Like, the winter is coming soon. Okay, so this is how we talk about by using approach. Okay, another example is, I didn't knew my neighbor was approaching me from behind at the mall. Okay, so I didn't knew my neighbor was approaching me from behind in the mall. Okay, which means that, I was in the mall and I didn't knew that my neighbor is here, and she was approaching me. When she saw me, she started coming near to me to meet me or to speak to me. Okay, so this is another example of using approach. Now the second meaning, if you talk to somebody for the first time, okay, so you approach somebody. So for example, we approach the society manager to organize a book fair, or we approach the society manager to organize an event. Okay, so this is one thing in which we want to say that we got in touch or contacted the society staffs or manager to organize something. Okay, so this is another way how you can use this word approach. The last meaning of approach is how you deal with a situation or a problem. Okay, for example, my approach to speak English fluently and confidently is through practice. My approach to speak English fluently and confidently is through practice. Okay, so it's very clear that if I want to gain fluency and confidence, I have to practice. That is what my approach is. That is how I do it, or I will deal with it, or I will progress. Okay, so this is an example of the word approach in this context. So I have spoken about 3 different meanings and three different ways how you can use it in your sentences in context. Okay, there are much more you can do, guys. Start making sentences, as many as you can, and you will get to know and you'll get an idea of the word. You'll get an idea of how to make sentences, and it is really going to help you while speaking in English. So guys, I'm sure these 4 words are very clear in the pronunciation, meaning and usage as well. So I'm talking about all these things. I am making the pronunciation clear, I'm making the meaning clear, I'm trying to use it in different sentences, in different contexts, so that you understand the word better. But it's not the end, guys. It's endless. So you have to put in efforts and you have to come up with more of such sentences which can help you in using these words while speaking in English and building up your vocabulary so that you do not forget words while speaking in English. See you. Bye-bye.